Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Channel 6 Political Focus. Good evening, everybody. I'm Kenny Fogel. Hope you enjoy our shows. And we're bringing you up to the 4th of November because we're counting down to Election Day as we're looking at many of the different races going on in Nelson County, Bardstown. And tonight we're looking at the Bardstown City Mayor. So I hope you'll join us tonight as we try to inform and educate you so you can make a decision on Election Day. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our two candidates here tonight. And I'll start off with our challenger tonight and let him introduce himself, Mr. John Royalty. John?
Hi, my name is John Royalty, and I want to be your next city mayor of the city of Bardstown. The reason that I'm running is I think that this city needs to go in a different direction. It needs to be managed, and I think that I am the person for that job. I have over 10 years experience on the city council. I have extensive business background. I attended St. Catherine's for 2 years, and I finished my education at the Eastern Kentucky University.
All right. Well, Bill, you're currently the mayor right now, running for re-election. Tell us a bit about Bill Shekels.
Well, as most of you very well know, I am the mayor. I've been the mayor for the past 4 years. Before that, I spent 12 years as a Bardstown city councilman. I grew up here in Bardstown. Spent most of my life here in Bardstown. Graduated from Bardstown High School. Went on to play college baseball at Western Kentucky University, where I graduated in 1976. I've been married to my wife Linda for 33 years, and I've also been, in addition to being mayor, I've also been the sales leader at Conway Heaton for over 28 years. And of course, I've been actively involved in many aspects of city government, city life, in my community. I'm a board member of the Bardstown Foundation for Public Education. I'm a trustee of First Baptist Church. I've been 26 years a member of the Kiwanis Club, with a service club here in the community. And we, as mayor of Bardstown, we've, along with the help of the city council, we've taken this city and this community and put it in the best shape it's been since I've been involved this last 16 years in the city government. So, but the one reason that I'm going to put my hat back in to continue to run here is my experience in local and city government. There's no other person on the council that had the experience that I've had, that's been involved in all the major growth that's happened in the city of Bardstown, that's been able to make been fortunate enough to be able to push the right buttons to keep us on the cutting edge of being a progressive community, as well as being able to keep our small town charm also. So I think in this past 4 years that I've demonstrated through the action and decision making that we've done as a mayor and a council, that we've got the city in good shape, and I think the people of this community want to continue in that direction.
All right, John, I know it's always a difficult decision to decide whether to run for something like this or not, and you made the decision to run for mayor. I mean, I know you mentioned this in your opening statement, but was there any one thing that made you decide to run for mayor, or is it just a variety of things, your leadership? What is it that made you decide you wanted to be mayor of Bardstown?
Well, I think in the last several years, through the present administration, there's been good times and a lot of bad times. It's been very difficult. The council has not been, in my opinion, has not been treated fairly and has not been given all the information at times. As some council members say, we're like mushrooms, we're kept in the dark. And in my administration, I will turn the lights on, and there will be true transparency to the government. And everyone in the city of Bardstown will have a chance to speak at these meetings, of which in the past it has been stopped at one point in time. I think that the city needs to go in a different direction. Yes, we are a small town. There is growth here. We've had a chance. We've missed several good opportunities to have big growth and provide ample employment for the citizens of Bardstown. And what we've really forgotten here is in city government, I think, in my personal opinion, is that what makes up Bardstown is small business. And we have hometown people here that have small businesses, and we don't help those small businesses. And some of the things are like the sign issue. We have the sign issue has gotten way out of hand, and I think as a mayor, as a full-time mayor, because I'll be there, I will not do nothing else. I will be there from sun up to sundown if required to be there, and I will be there 40 plus hours a week. Unlike in the past, I think the last full-time mayor really was I think Dixie Hibbs, and I think that it requires it. A city with a $45 million plus budget is like a large corporation, and I don't know any corporation in the United States that the corporate president, which would be the mayor, is there just part-time. It just doesn't work, and I think is very evident of what's happened with the city council. If you see it, you've had one council member that has resigned from the committee. You have another one that has a lot of experience, not going to run because I think of difficulties of what was set in the standard. It just needs to go in a different direction, and I am the man for that job.
Okay, well, Mayor, obviously you've been mayor for 4 years and you chose to run for re-election. I mean, either you enjoy the job or you're a glutton for punishment. Which one is it?
Well, I think we've guided the city in the proper direction. Councilman Rowley says he's going to be a full-time mayor. That may be true, but I'm a 24/7 mayor. I'm probably the most accessible mayor that we've had in quite some time, because of my extensive knowledge of the city and all the workings that go along with it. But to say that the city council hadn't been able to get along, we would not have been able to accomplish all the things that we have if we had not been a cohesive council. I'm not going to say we always agree upon everything, because we have 6 council members and a mayor, and naturally we have 6 different opinions a lot of times. To say that all the council members are going to be agreeable on everything is absurd. That's not going to happen. But what the council has done, when looking on the aspects of everything that has been involved with the city to move the city forward, and yes, I'm a forward-thinking person, and I have visions on which way the city should run, and I share those with the council people. To say that we don't get along is a misstatement. Politics come into play here occasionally from here time to time, but all the major decisions that we've had to do, I depend a lot on my city staff, because the day-to-day operation of the city is not the job of the city council, it's the job of the mayor and his staff. And we have a good city staff, and I depend on them quite a bit, and keep me informed of what needs to be done. And I keep the council informed on decisions they have to make pertaining to what needs to be done from their perspective. And sometimes the council people forget their roles sometimes. I know both roles. I've been a councilman for 12 years and also a mayor for 4, and the things that they need to do, I keep them very much abreast of, and they have to make decisions. They don't always like to make the decision, because some of the decisions are tough decisions. Now, and of course I've had to maybe call them out a time or two on that, but the decisions that the council needs to make, they have to make them. And decisions that the mayor has to make, he has to make them. And I don't think that that we went in any crazy directions. And the only thing that I could say is management styles may be different, because we're all different people, but I can't see that anything that any contender might have, what they would do different than what I've already done in the past 4 years.
Okay. Well, John, you've been on the council for several years. You was off for just a little while. You're a small businessman. You go door to door. Mm-hmm. What issues are burning with you, or you think burning with the people of Bardstown, that you'd like to see addressed right away?
Well, from what I hear on the street, Kenny, one is management, and I agree with the mayor. That is, you have to. The mayor's position is to make some of those hard decisions, but in my administration, you need to include your council to keep them updated and to keep them knowledgeable of what's going on even within the city, because as a council member in the last 10 years, we get asked on the street, and sometimes we find out things that's happened at the city and we don't even know nothing about, and we get caught off guard sometimes. And I think working with a group of 6 good people, you can go a long ways, because you have that experience of the 6 people that you can pull, different council members that I hope to see get elected. They have great experience, and the mayor, a good mayor, will pull from those people that have experience. And I'm not saying you don't rely on your department heads. You do that too, but your council members is your feedback from your constituents and their constituents that they vote for, and that's what makes a good round government. And that's what I do. Now, the hot topics that I think that are today is we have to have a water source. I've been the head of the water and sewer department for ever since. Well, for 10 years, ever since I first was elected and appointed by Mayor Hibbs. I've been on that, and I think it's still a hot issue. A while back, it was the sewer, when we were in a sewer dilemma, and that was under Bill. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was under well, it started out with Dixie, and then to Mayor Heaton, and that was resolved. We've got that. So I'm well rehearsed in the electric, the water and sewer, with just the general workings of the working individual of the city. And I know which direction it needs to go.
All right. Well, you mentioned earlier about management style and the difference between being a mayor and a councilman. Is there a different role between being a mayor and being on the city council?
Oh yeah, the roles and the responsibility, duties are set aside in state statutes. The duties and responsibility of a mayor, the duties and responsibility of a councilman. But what the councilman's role, and because the mayor can't be everywhere, what the councilman's role is, like John said, they're out in the community. They get feedback from the community on what issues that the citizens feel that they need to be addressed. And it's the role of the council people, if they're getting feedback from the city and it needs something to be done through the administrative offices, then all they'd have to do is pick up the phone and give the mayor a call, because I have an open door policy. I get a lot of phone calls. If the council people have some issues that they feel they need addressed, all they have to do is pick up the phone, give me a call, and we'll do it as administratively as the way it should be. You can't have 6 city council people telling the city staff what to do. They can't have 7 different bosses. But if the council people, and they do, when they have an issue or a citizen's complaint or a situation, and they call me, and then we get it addressed. If they don't call me, then I'm assuming it's everything's taken care of, because no news is usually good news. So, but I don't think that there's been that many issues that have been involved with the city that the council people have been burdened with and hadn't been taken care of. We've been fortunately, we've been in the best shape we've been in like I said, the 16 years I've been involved in city government. And that's a lot of the issues that the council people feel that they have. They'll call the mayor's office, and we address those issues. And that's the way you manage a city. You can't, like I said, you can't have 6 different bosses. And if the council people, I don't think any council person that has had any issue with any constituents that has called the mayor's office, that issue has not been addressed. So, we get a lot of accolades from people calling in, thanking the city and their staff, and for being responsible follow-ups, and that's how you run a city. And a lot of decisions that have to be made. And from my point as being an experienced council person, and now 4 years as a mayor, I do make a lot of decisions. I'm a decisive leader when it comes to doing what needs to be done. I make these decisions. A lot of them are not popular decisions, but we can't make everybody happy. But the things that we can do from a city point of view, we get taken care of. The things we can't do, we don't. I do it by the book. I know what the statutes say that our duties and responsibilities are, and we follow those. And that's the way you run effective city government. And I don't think there's many people out there that have addressed any issues in the city that have addressed to me through their office and through our staff or through the council that hadn't been addressed. And that's a simple way to run business. It's not rocket science.
Hey, John, you have any more you want to add on the management style before we move on?
Well, I'll agree and disagree. We have issues, that were brought up, and we got Maple Hill, and we have the Henrytown section, which there was an incident with the handicap ramp that was an issue, and the fire department issue, and I think, and I understand the role of the mayor, but if you don't work well with your city council members, and I think it's evident that it hasn't worked well at this point, you can't get a full handle on everything that goes on. And not everybody is comfortable with calling the mayor's office and talking with the mayor. Now, I've been out there. I get phone calls on a nightly basis. I've been in the middle of storms and whatever, and I'm accessible, and people are accessible to me 24/7. And there's just issues, and I know what the role is, but I just don't think all the issues have been answered.
Hey, Bill, anything you want to add to that before we move on?
Well, I'd like to ask you what issues haven't been addressed.
The issues, well, we can start with Maple Hill. I just don't think they've been addressed. They haven't been, emails haven't been answered, and I just don't think they've been addressed, and we can discuss that later, and I can give you more details on the.
Oh, well, the Maple, I applaud the people in Maple Hill that want to improve their neighborhood. That's what good citizens should do. And I think good citizens should work with their neighbors if they want to improve their circumstances. This is not the role of city government to take care of a neighbor's squabbles or anything of that nature. If you're gonna improve your neighborhood, and I applaud any issues that neighbors have. But I applaud some people in the neighborhood. They've stirred up enough interest in their neighborhood that people have taken interest. They've cleaned up their properties. They painted. They've cleaned up junk cars. They've done a lot of things. So being citizen involvement is a whole key to making your neighborhood good. It's not, you can't expect everything like that to come from City Hall, because that's not the response. But the response is concerned citizens in their neighborhood, being involved in their neighborhood, talking to their neighbors, rallying their neighbors to take pride in their neighborhoods, and therefore make it work. And I applaud the people who do it. And I've seen some improvement, because I drive around all parts of the city, and I've seen where the talk of the people working to get their neighborhood back together has helped. So I applaud those people.
All right. Well, we'll move on a little bit, and obviously Bardstown's growing, has been growing for quite some time. You mentioned water a few minutes ago. We got transportation issues. Obviously, I know it was the big issues North 3rd Street for the last little bit. What do you see as the biggest concern about us growing right now? What are we going to do about a growing population like you said, we need more water, but what do we do about just?
Well, I think right now the study was 2040, I think. Is that right, Bill? Is that with the Simpsons Lake water source, I think, is supposed to be sufficient till 2040. I really don't think that study is all that accurate, because if you get a large factory in here that needs a lot of water, I think we're going to have a problem. And as demonstrated, I think in the first part of Oregon Dixie Hibbs' administration, in the first part of Dix, the lake was extremely low. There, and we have an issue, and we can't wait till that water resources catch up with us, and then we do something about it, just like the sewer systems. We waited and paused that until Mayor Heaton got a hold and took it, and funds were there, and we matched funds and got grants, and we did what we had to do, and we're back on top of that situation. Through my discussion with other people, I think there's another alternative. The other alternative is, do we go to Louisville, have Louisville water? I don't like that, because then we can't control the price. Yeah. And we are so much cheaper than Louisville water, and it can demonstrate it for us, ourselves, that we can maintain our own water system. We just got to have it.
Okay, well, Bill, what do you see as being the issues over the next 4 years as we're going to be facing that maybe we're not facing right now, or maybe we are facing them right now?
Well, I'll iterate on what John said about the water supplies. We've had studies, several studies about that, and but any study we look at is going to be costly along this water issue. And but like I say, there are a couple of avenues that we're going to be bringing forth here in the next month or so about where we can go with maybe an alternative water supply. But the main thing in the next 4 years is our planned growth for our community. I have a good working relationship with our county judge, with our economic development director. We've been working, and just as a matter of fact, today we got contacted by several different companies that want to move to Bardstown. They're hoping to land them here and to provide more jobs for our citizens here, good paying jobs. We don't, when we talk about planned growth, we don't necessarily want every company that wants to come to Bardstown. As John mentioned before, we don't want a chicken plant to come to Bardstown. It's going to tax our water supply. Then, we don't need those type of people. We don't want a lot of companies that are going to bring in $9 an hour jobs, because that's not going to improve the quality of life for our citizens here in Bardstown. So we try to pick and choose the companies that we think is going to be best complement our community. And we've had a lot of good companies that come in, and they like the diversity of our community. They like the cleanliness of our community. They like the friendliness that we have when we bring people in, and that has kept us on the cutting edge for a lot of opportunities for companies wanting to come here. And that's my whole reason for being here. The contacts that we've made in the last 4 years across the state, across the country, that are looking for Bardstown. They want solid, stable leadership that we've shown through our economic development director, through our county judge, through our magistrates, through our councils, and through our mayor. They want continuity, and we're on the cutting edge right now of attracting several major companies that want to come here. And because of the negotiations, that's one of the reasons I'm still running, because the experience that I've had in dealing with these people, like I say, not just locally, but around the state and around the country, that we built a good rapport with, and they want that type of consistency when they do business, and they like doing business with us, and that's the reason that one of the main reasons that I'm continuing in this position, at least for the next 4 years.
Okay, well, John, you've served on several committees, and you've been involved with several projects with the city. I mean, what's some things you're most proud of, what you've been able to accomplish as a city councilman? What would you think you could be do even more as a mayor?
Well, when first elected to city council, there was always that issue of the lagoons smelling. We had a big issue. The city was at fault on some of that, and I think had one of the distilleries that was fault on some of that. So that was one of my big issues through Dixie Hibbs' administration, is I was focused on that and focused on the water and sewer. Mm-hmm. And I think that really come across well, and I think we got everything worked out. I really want, I want to be picky and choosy about the factories. We don't need a big chicken factory, as you would say, as Bill, yeah, I do too. As Bill said, I want to be picky and choosy, but I also want those industries that are going to locate here and not just be here today and gone tomorrow. Mm. I want the long term, and I want the citizens of Bardstown to benefit from that, and the city to benefit from it. But we have to have the infrastructure to be able to carry that load of industry. And with the unemployment across state, and especially in Nelson County at a high rate, I think it needs somebody that's going to be very proactive and that can work not just with the city council. You've got to work with your city council and work with other government agencies, but you got to be able to listen and not just dictate all the time. And that's where I'm at. I am that kind of person.
All right. Well, Mayor, you've, as you mentioned earlier, you've got a track record. You've been in office for 4 years. I'm sure there's some things you're proud of you've done, and some accomplishments you'd like to mention.
Well, like I said before, all the accomplishments that we've done through this administration hasn't been done strictly for me. I've had to have the cooperation and the support of the city council to do that, and which Councilman Roddy's been a part of. You know, we renegotiated a deal with the fire department, which was a bad contract for the city. We put that back together with the help of our corporation and the magistrates and the judge. We put that together. We've taken a lot of city ordinances that were antiquated and outdated and put them back on in today's time and put those things in. I knew when I came into this position, because the previous 8 years before that, we hadn't raised much taxes. We hadn't. Our infrastructure was down. Our city was growing. We were annexing. We were building roads. We were doing water lines, sewer lines. We were taxing our infrastructure. We were taxing our utility department, and the economy went down. So we weren't giving our employees raises. We were using faulty equipment that was causing them even more headaches. So when I came into office, I knew the first thing that needed to be done was we needed to change our general fund revenue source so that we could adequately take care of the things that we needed. As we were growing and annexing, we were covering more fire area. We were taking in new neighborhoods. Our police department had to grow. We were strapped with the pension problems that the state was having, passing on down to the city, mandating that we pay hazardous duty pay to our fire and police protection. And as we were growing, that was putting another major burden on our general fund. Recreation facilities where people were moving in. Our city was expanding. People moving in because of our quality of life, or because our utility rates were low, our taxes were low, and it was very attractive to people. As these new subdivisions were being developed, young couples were moving in, buying homes and expecting services that they experienced in other areas of where they moved from, and they expected the people here in Bardstown to supply those too. So I was faced with some major issues there, and the major issue is how were we gonna fund our general fund? So I did take it upon myself to lead the charge that we needed to restructure our occupational license fee so that we could put more money back into our general fund without putting a major burden upon our local taxpayers. And we did that, and that put us back on track to be able to buy equipment to help keep our city clean. The next year, with the added income that the occupational license fee generated, we were able to start taking care of our city employees that had weathered those 4 or 5, 6 years without any raises or anything, and tried to bring their level of income or hourly rates up to a halfway decent livable wage on our lower end workers. And we did that. And then once we got that, and as the economy started to turn around, we were able to, along with the council, we funded our full-time fire department up to 9 people. Well, for the first time this past year, we funded our police department to a full 27 staff members, and we're able to do that through the necessary changes we made in our occupational license fee. Our utility rates and things, we still kept them low. We're proud of that. And we did all of this without raising the property taxes, without instituting an insurance tax, and still keeping the lowest occupational license fee in the whole state. And it hadn't been a major burden upon anyone. And I'm proud of that act. And we've also, because of the things we've been able to do, because of the changes that we made and putting money back in the general fund that we needed to, we've got these nice designations as the most beautiful small town in America, one of the top 50 places to live in your community. So people start to take pride in their community again. And it wasn't like I say, it wasn't rocket science. It was just being able to be decisive enough as a leader to do the things that needed to be done to make our city grow. There's no personal agenda involved in this mayor thing for me. It's all about what we can do to continually keep Bardstown on a cutting edge, on a progressive edge, and still keep our small town charm. And that's what's been able to do in the administration that I've been able to lead here. And I think the citizens of Bardstown, they really don't have any complaints, other than the normal things that people complain about. But the garbage gets picked up, the police come when you call them, the fire department comes when you call them. If there's issues that need to be addressed, we can address them. So the people in Bardstown are in a better state. That's why we attract so many people to our community. When I got in the city government, the city of Bardstown was only the city limits were like 7,500. Now we're up close to 13,000. So we've almost doubled in the 16 years I've been involved in city government. The county has went from 29,000 to 45,000. So the county's grown. So all this is, and being Bardstown, being the anchor of this county, that's what's attracted people. And when they come, they stay. And like I say, along with the leadership of the city and the county and our economic development teams that we've tried to attract good businesses here that complement our community. And that's why people are still looking. That's why people are still coming. And that's the reason that, and I think the people are pretty much happy with the way the city government has been run. I don't know what any challenge it could really do different. Like I say, I have an open door policy. If the council, if they find issues that need to be addressed, they bring them to my attention and we address them. And that's, so to say that we don't get along, the mayor doesn't get along with the council or the council doesn't get along with the mayor, that's kind of baloney.
All right, well, John, before we close out, I'll let you have any additional comments, anything you'd like to bring up before we end our debate tonight. I'll let you address whatever you want to address.
Well, with my business experience of running businesses, doing budget for those businesses, my ability to talk to the public, respect the public, and to maintain a good working relationship with the other council members that are present and maybe in the future. I am a leader for this community. I am the leader for the city of Bardstown, and it will be led in a different manner. As everyone has a different style of leadership, that is good to say. With that being said, everything that the bill has mentioned couldn't have ever been done if it hadn't been for the council and the council's approval. So it's not just a one-man show that everything was done. It's a good working relationship with your council. And that's what all this is about. And being a full-time mayor, you can be accessible 24/7, but you have to be in that chair and be responsible and be fiscal responsible for this budget that has grown in excess of over $6-7 million in the 4 years' time. Now, some of that growth, some of the money was attained through the occupational tax. I wasn't on the council at that time. I think that was the first 2 years that Bill took office. The occupational tax, they took the cap off from 75 to 100, and then they lowered it to 0. I want to know, why didn't you take the cap off? If everyone needs to pay. I think that was a vote that was maybe split. I wasn't on the council at the time, but it's something that needs to be looked at. And if you're gonna do that, then let's do it evenly and adjust it accordingly.
I agree.
Really good.
That was one of the things. Not to interrupt you.
No, you go right ahead.
Not to interrupt you, but I agree. When we instituted the occupational license fee, we didn't raise the rate, which we probably should have, but we didn't. But the same person, the person that makes $15,000 a year is taxed from $1, and the person that makes $200,000 a year is capped at $100,000. I don't think they're paying their fair share, and that was the argument that I made all along. Was that if we're going to do this, let's do it the fair way. Let everybody pay their fair share, And I don't like paying taxes any more than anyone else, but I want to be fair about it. And you're right that I agree that should have been one of the things that, as a matter of fact, that was the only complaint that we got when we restructured occupational license fee, is why did you put a cap on it? But that was the city council's decision. For whatever reason, they felt that they needed a cap on it. No other city in the state has a cap. But anyway, that's one good thing we do agree upon.
So with my experience with working with department heads, let's give one prime example is there's a lot of myself and other council members believe that a lot of new vehicles are being bought that you can perhaps refurbish or get them re-inspected. Just because it has a little miles on it or wore out tires, you don't trade off the vehicle and get new vehicles. Those are a lot of things that are within the budget that you really have to get down and detailed and look at. And it takes more than when the council receives a budget, it takes more than a week just to look at it. I don't think we had maybe one finance committee meeting, if that, and with dealing with a $45+ million budget, I think you should meet your finance committee meeting should be quarterly, and it should be on time. So with that being said, I'm asking for your vote. I am John Loyalty. I do want your vote, and there is a different style of leadership, and that is where I'm at.
Thank you, John. Well, Bill, I'll let you close out and have your final say with the voters.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. That's the logic that I say. But I think overall, I think the community, like I said, is in good shape. I think overall, I think the community has been satisfied with the leadership that this administration has done through myself and through the council. The thing about it with the council people, if there was major issues that needed to be addressed or by constituents, or the city was having a rough time, whatever, then I'm sure they would contact me. But because they haven't been able to got 1,000 phone calls, or they haven't been under any duress to get certain things done, because we've done it. And that's the reason that I'm not a person to just have meetings, but if there's a no-frills budget, and John made the mention that our budget has grown from 38 million to 45 million. Well, yeah, nothing's the same. Costs the same today that it did 5 years ago. Our fuel costs have gone up. Our cost of electricity has gone up. Things that we have no control over. The cable affiliate fees that have gone up, even though we're still the lowest cable operation in the area. But you try cutting back on the cable offerings, and let me try to take ESPN, one of the main drivers of the cable utility rates. You let me try to take that off the air and see what happens. But anyway, our budget is good. Our budget is balanced. We balanced it each year in the last 4 years. We've been able to put money back in reserves for a rainy day, because as John said before, somewhere down the line soon we're going to have to tackle this water situation, which we're well aware of. But overall, there hadn't been a whole lot of complaints from the council, because there hadn't been a whole lot to complain about. So that's why I say my experience and help managing to run the city, along with staff, along with the help of the city council and the decision making we've done, I think we've all done a good job. And I'd like to continue as mayor doing what we need to do to continue to move this city forward.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there anything we left out? Anybody want to add anything before we get out of here? Anyone want to leave anything left on the table? All right. Well, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. It's the mayor's race in Bardstown. We got John Royalty, Bill Shekels. That's the candidates, and it's up to you. 4th of November on Tuesday, we urge you to go out and vote for the candidates you think will do the best job. And it's our job to educate and inform, and hopefully we're doing that as well here on Channel 6. So for all of us here at Political Focus, CKTV, hope you enjoyed our show tonight, and hope you've learned something, and hope you will go out and vote on the 4th of November. So thank our candidates for being here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. This is Kenny Fogle saying so long. See you next time on Political Focus. Take care, everybody.